Hi everyone, welcome along to La Liga Lowdown. Exciting times. This is the first proper bit of video content we're putting on our channel after the trailer and the first intro video that you might have seen. Why not subscribe straight away and then you can see all our content as it gets uploaded. We want to do plenty of things on this channel, including some big name interviews, and we've been speaking to Luis García, formerly of Barcelona, Atlético Madrid and of course Liverpool, ahead of the massive Barca Atletico game in La Liga this coming weekend. We asked him about Messi and Coutinho, we asked him about Griezmann and Simeone and plenty more besides. So here's what happened when La Liga Lowdown met Luis García. Lucho, thank you so much for having a chat with us. Let's go. Lucho, first of all, great to see you again. And
thank you very much.
You are our first guest on La Liga Lowdown in terms of a big interview.
Are you putting me pressure?
I mean, maybe a little bit.
I'm happy to be here. Be the first one.
Listen, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's go. Right, well, we're building up to a huge game in La Liga between two of the biggest teams. Barcelona against Atletico at the Camp Nou. Let's start off with this summer and the challenges that both teams had. How impressive is how they've responded to those challenges this season?
Well, both of them, they are top teams, and as you might know, they start the season thinking that we have to win the Liga, we have to win the Champions League, we have to win the Copa del Rey. Both of them have to be at the top every single game. And Barcelona started the season with the Super Cup. That didn't went well, I think.
But maybe was it one of the best things that happened to them?
Yeah, maybe. To be honest, I don't know, because we don't know if they had won that game. It will have been different after all. But it's true that from the perspective after halfway of the season, or a little bit more, it's true that after that game Barcelona looked totally different. Neymar left the team, and suddenly the team start thinking, okay, we have to push everybody a little bit more because one of our arms is gone, and I think that changes the mind of the players when they go on the pitch and they think, listen, on the left there is no anymore Neymar, we have to give a little bit more.
What about Ernesto Valverde? How much credit does he deserve for what Barcelona have achieved so far this season?
A lot, I think a lot, because when we think about the Barcelona from Pep Guardiola, those amazing movement, those amazing football that probably we are not going to see anymore. We see this year Barcelona, sometimes we think it's not the Barcelona we like, because you compare all the time with Guardiola's team, and I think that's not fair, because they are not the same players, not the same age. Xavi Hernandez is not there, Iniesta is not anymore the Iniesta from 8 years ago.
Sure.
But he managed to adapt the situation to a new Barcelona with changing the system. There is no anymore 3 strikers. Sometimes also he can adapt. And he managed to talk to Messi and say, listen, you're going to play when you want, where you want, and you're going to be the man, as you've been doing for the last few years. But the people start talking a lot about Neymar, about Suarez, and how important it was those players, Xavi Hernandez, Iniesta, even Rakitic for Messi. And he gave him all the credit he deserved. And suddenly we found a new Messi, looks like 22 again.
Yeah.
And the whole Barcelona, I think, works a little bit around him.
Philippe Coutinho obviously signed for a lot of money in the winter window. If he's fit, does he start? And if so, where?
It's difficult, because I think not even Valverde knows where to put him, because he's been playing on the left, on the right, even second striker. He moves a little bit. He has to adapt a little bit to Barcelona style. When he was playing for Liverpool, we've seen him many times on the left side all the time, but all the balls it was for him, and he has to build up something, he has to create something. So every time he knew that, and he had the ball, he go 1v1, shooting, free kicks, set pieces, everything was on him. Right now is a different role. He's in the left side, and sometimes he looks a bit lost on the pitch, because he turns around, he doesn't know where to go in, because most of the teams are at the back defending, so it's not easy. But the quality of this player is amazing, so I'm sure that he's going to be there.
How do you think Barcelona are going to approach this game tactically against Atletico?
As always, I think the Barcelona doesn't change much. Maybe sometimes they put 3 strikers or put 3 strikers, but I think the way of approaching against Atletico Madrid has to be exactly the same. They know that the Atletico Madrid likes to stay at the back, to wait and wait for counterattacks. And Barcelona is going to try to break those 2 lines of 4 players and even 5 players sometimes when Griezmann stick into the midfield line. And try to don't commit mistakes, because it's true that Atletico Madrid is very dangerous in the counter-attack.
What about Antoine Griezmann? How do you think he'll be feeling facing a team that he could well be signing for in the summer? Do you think he's got a point to prove there?
Don't think so. I think, of course, when you play against this kind of team, you want to show a little bit more because maybe you got chances to move. There's been a link in between them in the past few months, but not sure if it's real or not, because at the end we hear so many things about on the press. But it's true that these kind of players want to show that listen, I'm a top player and I can play against these big teams and be the star of the game. So I'm sure that Griezmann is going to be a pain for Barcelona. And what I like the most about this player, we've seen in the last few games a little bit more, because now he's not on the role of a top striker. Front striker is moving around behind Diego Costa. The capacity of effort that he's got. He's defending. He goes on the side. You can see him deep down on the tracking players, and after they have to get the ball and bring it forward. So I think it's amazing from a player who is on the pitch just for the quality, the technique, and the vision that he's got. So I think it's one of those players that every manager would like to have in their team.
Obviously Barcelona, and you'll know this because you came through La Masia, but they used to be known for developing youth talent.
Yeah.
But now look at Atletico. Look at the likes of Lucas Hernandez, look at Thomas Partey, even Saul is still quite young, isn't he?
Yeah.
Are they making a name for youth development themselves?
I think of course they need to. We have to start that Atletico Madrid doesn't have their own training ground facilities, so they are trying to build up in the future. I think this is the moment to start getting bigger. Atletico Madrid is the 3rd team probably in Spain. When Wanda arrived to the club, it looks like the explosion, the expansion of the team. It will start in the near future, and I think the next step is that one, is to have your own facilities where you can develop a good. The young players can have all the tools to become first-team players, and we had a few in the last few years. But I think Atletico Madrid, being in Madrid with the potential that the team is got, with all the fan base that is got, not only here in Spain, around the world, is a moment for them to raise that space in the team, in the club, and start bringing more players. I think is the moment.
Now, if you were Diego Simeone, what would you be thinking about this summer? Because there's always been links with him to Inter Milan in particular and the Premier League. Is it time for him to think about the next chapter?
We thought like that last year. It was very close when he even cut close the deal that he had with Atletico Madrid for from to 2 years, and after he signed a new one. So it's been a little bit confusing, but I think Simeone struggles in the last couple of years to try to arrive to the top, fight to the top in La Liga. He saw himself tired probably. I would think, yeah, I can go to Inter and try another thing. I could go to one of the top teams in Premier League and try myself. But I got an amazing thing built up for myself that we've been in the Champions League final, we won the league, something that Atletico Madrid didn't do from many years. And this year is very close to Barcelona. Even he left Real Madrid and Valencia far away. So it's a difficult situation for him. If I was him, maybe I will try a new challenge. But I don't know. It's quite difficult to find a solution.
Would he be a good fit for the Premier League?
Yeah, definitely. With that mentality of strong defense and good contract, people will love the way he plays.
I mean, I suppose that the other thing about Premier League is that it's attracting other Spanish managers. Luis Enrique has recently been linked with a move to the Premier League. So what do you think about that? Is that much of a suitable target? Yeah,
I think that right now Premier League is looking for something different. A lot of foreigners, coaches has arrived, new styles, a little bit me play with the ball, not that much long balls. The counter-attack style is being left on the side, and most of the team try to build up from the back. And we know the Premier League is probably the top league with La Liga, but they have to adapt to the new football. New football is a lot more about fast movements, the ball involved all the time, and a little bit not that much as long balls with the striker, and the striker on your own corner kicks, free kicks. It's a little bit more. So I think the new generation wants to see their players keeping the ball, doing dribblings, and those freestylers that we watch on YouTube. I think the moment of football have to innovate a little bit, and Premier League is demanding that.
Yeah. It's the YouTube generation that's influencing football, isn't it?
It's like that. I mean, it's the new generation, and they want something different. They are gonna watch. They're watching the games with a VR on their faces and 3D things. And so at the end, you have to understand and adapt a little bit. Football has changed, and well, it's the way it is.
Yeah. Let's go back to the game at the Camp Nou this weekend. What is the key factor in deciding how this one turns out? Barcelona against Atletico, big game.
Yeah, it's very difficult. They are always with this kind of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atlético Madrid, Barcelona, or Barcelona, Atlético Madrid. They're going to be decided in small details. Always the one who commits less mistakes is the one who's going to get the game. It's true that it sounds like the topic. Yeah, of course, the mistakes, the details. But the two managers are so detailed all the way they play. They're going to try to look for the weakness of the other team. If you try to find a small gap in between the lines, it's so difficult. You could put two lines of 4 players. So Messi, Coutinho, Iniesta, they will try. And we've seen before when Barcelona play against these kind of teams, they have to wait until 60 minutes, 70 minutes to score a goal when the other team is a little bit tired. But Atletico Madrid, he's used to that. He's used to hold and wait, and they don't get desperate. They don't get frustrated of not having the ball. They are comfortable on that way of playing. So it's very difficult. And in the other side, Atletico Madrid, I'm sure what they are going to look for is for the perfect counter-attack. It's the way Barcelona goes forward, leave only at the back 2 players, maybe 3, and those fantastic counter that Coque, Saúl, Griezmann, Diego Costa. I think they've done it many times in the last few games. So at the end, is the way that I see the game be playing.
It's interesting reading. It's saying basically the less worst team could ultimately end up winning it.
It's like that because it's not going to be the best team. The best team, if you look on paper and the way they are, Barcelona has been winning more games like easily, if we can say like that. So they know that they winning this game probably is going to be the end of the competition for one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it shows they can be stopped because Espanyol did it recently, Getafe did it recently as well. You probably know this question is coming. I'm going to ask you for a prediction, Lucho.
Let's go.
So, what do you reckon?
I will go for a very short. I will go for a 1-0 for Barcelona. Okay. Yeah, I think
really tight.
Yeah,
game.
very tight. I mean, you never know. After Barcelona can score 2 goals, or Atletico in counter can score 2 goals. But I'm gonna see it's gonna be very tight, and maybe a free kick from Messi or a corner, and that can be different. It could be they can get those 3 points, but I mean, even a 0-0 it could be a good result.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that technical insight from Luis García, looking ahead to Barcelona against Atletico Madrid in La Liga this weekend. What do you think the score's going to be? Put your comments in the box below this video. And do you know what? We're not done yet with Lucho. There is a part 2 of this interview which will be put out on Tuesday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. In fact, why not subscribe to this YouTube channel right now? Takes 2 seconds. Plus, we are on Twitter as well. We are at La Liga Lowdown. Check out our Twitter feed, give us a follow. And our first mini podcast comes out on Monday as well. Have a good weekend. See you soon.